In today's video, we're gonna be comparing the YoloCam S3 and the OBSBOT Meet 2. These are two webcams that I do really appreciate. Now, the Meet 2, I like it because it's affordable, very small, very portable, and tiny, and can actually get the job done. And the YoloCam S3, it's a new webcam released by YoloLive, and it's actually a really good webcam. And in this video, we're gonna find out which one is right for you. Let's get into it. What is going on, guys? My name is Sam. You're watching our production tips and tools, and this video you're watching is recorded on both cameras, so you're gonna get a chance to see which one is better. We have the S3 connected right now here in my Streamlabs. That's where I'm recording part of this video, and we have the Meet 2 4K connected here to OBS. Obviously, I'm gonna be switching back and forth, but also you can see what they look like here in the software, so you have an idea. To be fair, the YoloCam S3 costs $200 and the Meet 2 costs $130, so there's a $70 difference. Probably part of the reason why you're paying more money for the S3 is because obviously you're paying for a bigger sensor, therefore the image quality is supposed to be better. Now the question is it actually better? So looking at the image, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, sensor size, S3 has 1/1.3 inch, the Meet 2 has 1/2, which is like half-inch sensor. In the image quality, you can see the S3 image is really cleaner. You can see the background is cleaner, the way it renders the colors is actually very clean. And if you see the Meet 2, I mean, looking at the colors that I have in my background, obviously you may have a different background, you may have different lights and everything, but you can see like low light is a little bit of noise. Actually, not a little bit, there's really a lot of noise. And obviously I'm gonna show you the software, the settings that I apply to both webcams. Usually how this thing works, for any webcam, you want to make sure you give it enough light. So what I'm doing right now, I'm comparing both cameras under the same lighting conditions. If I was just using the Meet 2, I'll probably increase the lighting so I get better exposure, obviously. So just real quick, I can show you guys the settings that I have right here for the OBSBOT Center, which is the software you're gonna need to be able to tweak the Meet 2. Another thing that I have to mention, without this software, it's gonna be hard to get a really good image out of the Meet 2. What's good about the software, after you have tweaked it, is it's gonna be saved into the camera, so next time you use the camera, the settings will be there. Now I'm gonna show you some of the key settings that will make it look good. HDR usually helps with the exposure, not to have like some harsh lighting and stuff like that. But even if I turn it off, you can see there's no big difference. If you can, feel free to turn on. Now the autofocus, make sure it's turned on. If you're doing talking head videos, you want to make sure it's on face, because that way it's gonna track your face. And other than that, the color temperature, I set it to my key light, which is 5600 Kelvin. And then what I had to do, really, this is the key, guys. If I put the contrast at 50%, which is like the default, you're gonna see that the actual image is gonna be a little weird. It's washed out, it doesn't look really good. For the camera to look good, you really have to push the contrast even all the way to 100%. Another thing that I've actually noticed for the exposure, if you use auto exposure, so I can turn on auto exposure, you can see that the camera is really gonna give you almost the same thing that I had on manual exposure. So both cameras really on auto exposure does work well. Now you can do global or face, and you can add a little bit of compensation if it's not, it's not bright enough, right? Another thing that I want to mention when it comes to software, OBSBOT Center, which is software that we use to control the Meet 2, is actually way better than the YoloLive Compose software. YoloLive is still working on it, pushing more updates, but if I was to be fair, I would say OBSBOT Center is a more stable software, has a lot of features, including the beauty features, which if you turn the feature on, you can even tweak this camera, make it look even better. All right, but most people probably not gonna use the beauty feature. You can tweak it, you can smoothen your face. I mean, there's so many things you can do with this feature, and I have a video that I made about it. If you're interested, I can link it down below. Just let me know. Again, to turn it on, you can just push this button right here. But I wanted to say that the software is really good. For the S3, you're gonna need the YoloLive Compose. The software, it's just gonna do what it does, but it's pretty simple, straightforward. You can control the autofocus. By the way, both cameras, you can just change the orientation easy in the software, and physically change the orientation if you want to do like TikTok style vertical video. And you can change the autofocus. You want to put it to face. You can change the zoom, the exposure, for you to be able to make the image look really good. Now I have it set to manual, but if I go to auto, you can see like out of the box the image looks really good. Like you guys, you watch both images, the Meet 2 and S3, and you tell me which one looks better. But you can see like both set to auto exposure. You can see there's a huge difference. Again, you can look at the background, how it renders the colors in the background. You can see that there's a difference in my opinion. Now the white balance, I had to set mine at 50, like 5500 ish, but when I go to 600, I feel like the colors were a little bit off. So I don't know if it's some sort of calibration they have to do in the software. It's so simple compared to OBSBOT Center. Basically the only thing you need to tweak, you don't need to push too much to change the contrast and things like that. In fact, I had to lower the contrast in the S3. I had to put at 49, saturation 49, dynamic range still at 50, always like lower the sharpness. But you can see that the image is really good, the right amount of contrast, the right amount of everything that you need to have a good image without doing too much in the software. The only thing I would say, just get your white balance all set. Your focus, again, if you want to do face, it's gonna help you track the face. If I do any demo in front of, you know, my face, you can see that it's still gonna be tracking my face. Or you can do AFC if you do some product demo and stuff like that. It's gonna do that beautifully and go back to your face, which is cool. I think the YoloLive S3 wins when it comes to image quality. When it comes to software, I believe the Meet 2 or the OBSBOT Center is a better software. Now for other specs, things like recording resolution and things like that, I would say they're almost the same, like recording 4K 30 frames per second, 60 frames per second in full HD, which is almost the same. So when it comes to things like that, it's just a tie. They both do the same thing. When it comes to the weight, actually the S3 is a little heavier than the Meet 2. So obviously the S3 is not that super heavy either, but I'm just saying if you need something kind of looks cute and something really small that would just fit in anywhere, you know, almost like maybe in your wallet, Meet 2 is really small. Now another thing is the autofocus and the blurry background. So the S3, the rendering of the background is amazing, but also you got a blurry background. Why? It's because it's got a bigger sensor. And the autofocus is better, it's fast, but also noticeable, right? So if I put something in front of my face, you can see that it's going to put it in focus and put my face out of focus. It's actually noticeable. Now doing the same thing on the Meet 2, you can see that if I do get closer, yes, it's gonna get the focus and goes back to my face, right? So focus speed, both cameras, I think they perform really well. All right. Now, the only difference, if you look at the Meet 2, my background, the color rendering, and obviously you can see everything because it's a small sensor. You're not going to be able to have any blur background. So that's where the S3 kind of shines. But I would still say if you're just starting out, getting started, and you're on a budget, the Meet 2 is still a great option. Now, looking at the spatial features, obviously in the Meet 2, you're gonna get the beauty features, which will help you to even enhance the image. If you are into beauty and things like that, you can do some cool stuff and tweak it and make it look so good. You can also do things like, you know, gesture control, all the good AI based good stuff from OBSBOT. You're gonna get access to that via the software, OBSBOT Center. And YoloLive S3, in my opinion, is just a basic normal webcam that happens to have a good image quality. So which one should you use for your live streaming and content creation? I think it all comes down to your preferences, what you need, and your budget. You can see the samples, image quality, and decide for yourself. Now, another thing, guys, it doesn't matter which camera you actually choose. If you don't know how to use its software to get the best settings out of it and send that to OBS, then it would be really useless. That's why I have 2 videos, depending on which camera you're gonna get, that I made showing you step by step how to set up these cameras. And I'm gonna link those videos here to be able to get the best images out of them, guys. Check them out. They're gonna be linked right here, and I'll see you there, guys. Take care.